So if you're someone that has an IUL with Transamerica, I need you to pause this video, go get your illustration, download it, whatever you need to do, and come back to this video and follow along as I walk you through, because this video is really important because I can prevent you from wasting tens of thousands of dollars or potentially making tens of thousands of dollars. Okay. So I have so many people that send me emails with illustrations to review Transamerica, all other companies, but we're going to talk about Transamerica today. So I have a lot of people that send me Transamerica illustrations. I review them, and I'm going to tell you somewhere around more than 90%. I'm saying more than 90% of people who send me their policies with Transamerica have structures that are horrible structures, and it's going to cost them tens of thousands of dollars. So I'm saying that because if you have one of those illustrations, 90% is a high number. It's very likely that you're in the same situation as well. So I would advise you to go to the description, find an email, send your illustration in so we can review it. So at least you could have that peace of mind. Okay. So I'm going to show you an example of one. I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know. Okay. So this product we have here is a Transamerica Financial Foundation IUL 2. Okay. So this is a 43-year-old individual, male, and they are putting in $1,010 per month, and they have a $1.5 million death benefit. So that's the scenario. Oh, and they have a preferred health rating. So they have a good health rating. So I'm going to show you this example of the actual illustration, and I'm going to show you a second illustration at the end, see how you can make some tweaks and improvements in your policy structure. Okay. So first thing I look at is here you have policy year and age. All that is you can go by the age of the policy, meaning policy year 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, or you can go by the age of the individual. So that just gives you a gauge to figure out, okay, if I'm, 55, what do my numbers look like? Okay, so first we have the guaranteed section. So the guaranteed section it's important to understand what it is because it can be confusing. So guaranteed section means this is what the policy is guaranteeing you, meaning worst case scenario, because the IUL follows the market based on, the strategy it uses. So it follows the market with a floor and a cap. So the floor in most situations is 0, but in this situation is 0.75. So the floor is 0.75. The cap is the most you can get. So if the market does 5, you get 5. Market does 8, you get 8. If the cap is 10, the market does 15, you only get the 10. So this example on the illustration side where it says guarantee is assuming the market crash every single year, meaning you're getting no interest credits ever, right? Crash for 50, 60, 70 years straight. So the reason it's there because technically it is possible because there's no guarantees in the market. The market can crash forever. Is it likely? No, not likely at all, but it is possible. So they have to show it. And at the same time, while the market's crashing nonstop, it's also assuming the insurance company does a horrible job managing portfolios, managing expenses, and the charges go max capacity. So every charge is the worst case scenario, and the stock market is worst case scenario at the same time. That is your guaranteed column. So very unlikely that would ever happen, but legally they have to show it to you. So in this guarantee section here, it's showing there is never going to have any cash value build up whatsoever inside the policy. So it's 0 policy value, 0 surrender value, and it lapses here in year 21 at the age of 64 for this client, right? So not good. I expect it to lapse, but that's lapsing very, very soon. Then you have the non-guaranteed rate, assuming the market does 3.5% every single year. Here you can see there is some policy value building up. It takes a while to have some cash surrender value, and eventually, I'm not sure. We'll look to see if it lapses, but I'm going to focus here because this is where you spoke to your agent and this is what they showed you. This is assuming a 7.25% rate of return in the policy, right? So here we have premium outlay. Premium outlay is your annual payment. So it's that $1,010, I believe, per month times 12 equals $12,120. So you have that $12,000 going in per year. Your policy value in year 1 is a little bit shy of $5,000. Now, one thing that stands out to me is the cash surrender value, because your cash surrender value determines how much money you get if you were to cancel your policy, but also it's used as a gauge when it comes to accessing funds out of your policy in the form of a policy loan, right? So they look at that cash surrender value. So that's why it's important. So after, 5 years of zeros, year 6 is the first year there's any surrender value, and it's $4,466. And that's compared to the $31,000 that's in your policy value, compared to the $72,000 you've put into the policy so far. So you put $72,000 in, you have access to $4,400. So already out the gate, this doesn't look like a great design. But as we go further down, you can see the policy value is starting to grow. Cash surrender starts to grow. And then we go into the second page, page 2. Now, the thing that stands out to me is that this policy does lapse at age 79 at a 3.5% rate of return, but it also lapses at age 85, assuming a 7.25% rate of return, right? That's not good at all. Because another thing that I point out is this premium outlay shows the payment. This client is paying into this policy nonstop, and the policy still lapses. Because with the IUL, you want to have flexibility with your payments where eventually you can take your foot off the gas and not have to pay into it, and the policy can self-fund and pretty much pay for itself. Here you're paying out of pocket, or this person's paying out of pocket nonstop, and it still lapses. If you look at it, if you look at this year, then this year, then this year, I would say right here, this particular year is when the cash value went from $245,000 to $242,000. So now your cash value is dropping. So you're still putting $12,000 in, and your cash value is dropping dramatically every single year. Tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. And eventually it just runs out. This one's over $50,000 of loss in that year, and then it lapses the next year. So this is a horrible design. So the policy lapses on the highest non-guaranteed rate. You can't stop putting money in, and even though you stop putting money in, the policy still cancels on you. So everything that can go wrong went wrong with this policy. You would have put in $500,000 into this policy and got absolutely nothing out of it. Not even a death benefit anymore. No death benefit, no cash value, nothing whatsoever. So now I want to show you how I was able to make some tweaks using the exact same company, but how structuring the policy can make a huge difference. So here we have same mail, same health rating, same monthly payment, except for we adjusted the death benefit to meet some MET guidelines. But you have the same thing, same age, same payment. Now let's look at the guarantee. Let's do the guarantee section first. Remember, on the other policy, it was zeros nonstop. So I can actually back up to kind of show you what that policy looks like. So on this policy, you can see there's zero in cash value, and I'm looking at the guarantee section. But then the one I ran, the adjusted rate, you can see there is cash value building up. Now, I still expect this policy to lapse. It's just a matter of when. So it's not if, it's a matter of when, based on that guaranteed section. So if we continue out, the policy actually makes it to age, makes it to age 88 before it lapses, right? So it does lapse, but and that's with no growth max fees. So that shows you it's a little stronger than the previous case. So now let's take a look at the non-guarantee section to see how it does perform if you were to get some interest credited towards your account. Okay, so here we have the non-guaranteed sections. So let's just focus on this one. Same interest rate ran on both scenarios, but you see there's $10,000 of policy value in year one and $6,449 worth of surrender value in year one, which is a huge difference versus what we saw before, because what we saw before showed there was no cash value in there whatsoever. But then we go back to the rate that I ran, there's $6,449 in surrender value in year one. So right off the gate, you can tell this is going to be a stronger policy. You can see the policy values building up over time. Then we fast forward to later years. One thing I like to do is I like to show stopping your payments. So you see the 12,000 goes away and there's no more payments made after that point. But we see at that point there's $1 million in policy value and the equivalent amount in your cash surrender value. And that policy at that point is internally paying for itself and still able to grow and compound nonstop, right? And if we look at it, it continues to grow all the way to maturity, which technically is age 121. So even the 3.5% rate made it to maturity, and the 7.25 also made it to maturity with $15 million in cash value. So huge difference in design. So I was able to get more cash value, more surrender value, prevent the policy from lapsing, and stop the payments at the same time. So that just shows you the difference in structure. Same company, same rate class, same individual. So if you have a policy and you need someone to review it, click the description. There's a email it over. We'll schedule a consultation if needed, and we'll give you an honest assessment on what your options are moving forward. So I hope this video helped. Share it with someone else if you know they have a policy as well, whether it's Transamerica or not, it doesn't matter. Send them in and we'll help you get it reviewed. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video.